Okay, bear with me because I have a bunch of notes and stuff here. So I'm going to refer to my notes. I'm going to try to take some video to show you. So first and foremost, thank you so much for sending over videos. Super, super helpful for this. So what I love is that you're not rushing through the reps. You've got a good tempo, especially on your way down. You're getting close to parallel or at parallel, which is great to engage your glutes and your quads, which is something we want to be doing in a squat. You also have a neutral spine, so your torso position looks mostly upright and stable, which is definitely a solid foundation to build on. Okay, so all those things are going well. So now when it comes to opportunities for adjustment, so with your knees, in both videos, your knees appear to be like slightly caving inward as you descend and then push back up. And that likely contributes to some discomfort in your knees. So the cue is to drive your knees out towards your pinky toes as you get lower, especially as you stand up, okay? So I want you to think about that in your head as you're squatting down. Squat down, drive those knees out towards your pinky toes and keep them driving out as you come back up, okay? Something else you can add in is if you have mini resistance bands, which if you don't, let me know because I have a bunch and you can have them. I may have actually already given you some, but you can add the mini resistance band just above your knees, and that'll help to cue more of that external rotation, which is going to just strengthen your abductors, okay, and your glutes. So again, mini band above the knees, push those knees out like they're going towards your pinky toes. Next up, for your foot position. So your feet may be a little bit too narrow or pointed more forward than is ideal. So that can put extra pressure on your knees, especially if you have limited mobility in your hips and your ankles. So for your foot position, we can have a cue of widen the stance slightly and point the toes out at like a 15 to 30 degree angle, depending on how that feels. Okay, so this can allow for some better knee tracking and again, more glute recruitment. So we know we've got 90, we've got 45. If we want that 15 to 30, it's gonna be a little bit more narrow. And if you're saying that you feel better with a more narrow stance instead of more of that wide sumo stance, then we wanna go with the more narrow stance if that's feeling better for you. Which is interesting because I feel like most people tend to do better with a wider stance. I know even for myself in particular, I just do better with a wider stance, but this is why everybody is individual, okay? So also, what else do I have here? So you're starting your squat by pushing your knees forward rather than sending your hips back first. So what you wanna do is you wanna sit back like there's a chair behind you. All right. And so you can do this with body weight only if we need to just get the movement down better first and foremost. But again, we want to sit, push back those hips like you're looking for an imaginary chair behind you. And that's going to be the way that we start to execute that movement. Okay. And if you need to, you can certainly use a chair, a bench, a box, or whatever to actually start working towards that, where you're actually going to go, and we call that more of like a box squat, to get into that more seated position. With your ankles, if you feel like you're leaning forward or if your heels want to lift, that could be just some issues with your ankles. So you can try, if you have something like a little step or like a 2x4 board or something that you can elevate your heels on, sometimes that will help to just reduce discomfort and it can improve your form. So like for me, when I'm at the gym, I can do this by just putting, and even at my house, I guess, I can put like plates beneath. So like 5-pound plates that are like pretty thin. I can just put them under my heels and it'll elevate your heels a little bit more to, again, make it less impact on the knees. So I know that was a lot of things, but let's like put it all together. I put it into like one phrase. Let's widen your stance slightly. Let's turn your toes out a bit. Let's sit your hips back first and push your knees out as you stand up. Think about screwing your feet into the floor, okay? So wider stance, toes slightly turned out, push your hips back first and push your knees out as you stand up, and then think about screwing your feet into the floor, okay? I hope that was helpful. If not, let me know. I actually will like put what I typed out into the caption as well, because maybe it's better to like hear it and read it and see how that translates.